Welcome to Memoirs, my fitness trainer podcast. My name is Ryan Tellis, joined by my forever co-host, the one and the only Mr. Tyler
Sparkling
Johnson.
water.
Say hello.
Hey, what's going on? Just having our our media advisor go grab me a sparkling water. He's like, "What am I, an intern?"
I mean, paid intern.
Paid internship. I mean,
Hey,
technically getting a workday experience. It's working out for him pretty well, I would say.
I'm just saying, that's better than Google. You got to intern at that fucker. Here we at least, grease the wheels.
Oh, really? Google doesn't do that?
I'm sure they pay their interns. That's a bullshit fact. But
Thank you,
anyway,
thank you, Tommy.
let's
Love you.
yeah. Tommy
Yay!
is our editor, so he's going to relive all of this conversation. It's
It
it's gonna be great.
tastes even better that he got it for me.
Anyway, so in today's podcast, we were talking about a very fun topic, and that is when to do or implement new research or new training techniques, new supplements, or just kind of the new thing that comes around on the block every few years. When is a good time to do that? And, well, when should you and when shouldn't you? So, Tyler, tell me a little bit about what your thoughts on are implementing a new training technique that's on the cutting edge, if you will, or recent.
All right, let's talk about, well, all right, so new in the sense of recovery, I would say is the hydrotherapy, the idea of using water or ice baths for recovery or trying to promote some type of fat loss or weight loss. That's a new sensation inside of gyms. Fairly new, we can say like HIIT type of workouts, high intensity interval training, like the HITT kind of came out in the last 15 years, everything after like 2005, 2006. Um, and then, God, what else kind of comes to mind? Overwhelming group fitness studios like F45,
Oh yeah.
a
Well,
building. Oh yeah.
yeah, that's been around forever, though. I mean, you think back that was like the '70s, Jane Fonda kind of shit. That's
Mm,
been around since like forever. Yeah.
evolution of it though. Like,
Mm.
and then training online with personal trainers was always like kind of like a diddle daddle, but now it's like there's a full workup. Like you can get a trainer online very simply by just clicking on a Google search and finding somebody, and you'll be putting somebody way pretty fast. So
Okay.
those would be like
It
the
definitely has.
top 3 in my mind. Do any others kinda come to your mind?
Well, I'm thinking about it more like mechanistically with all right, like the hydrotherapy. Like that's kind of newer research that's kind of come out, and we're starting to see some things about how it's like not really helping for recovery. But it's
Yeah.
like, all right, when as practitioners do we implement? When as practitioners should we actually go, hey, this is new research, it's out there. Let's take that and use it. Or this is a new technique. Like when should we implement these things into programs, because a lot of times the new thing tends to be a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, only after testing. I would never just, like, read something and be like, "Hmm, Imma do that to a client." I would definitely do on myself. I would do it for a little while. I would test to see if it works. If it added benefit, then I'd be like, "Okay, this is something to research a little bit more," and then I'd add it to, like, the system. Outside of that, almost never. Like, I mean, unless there's some miracle drug that's been endorsed by every doctor in the world and pushed on by the FDA and has just said, like, this will make your muscles stronger with no health side effects. Like,
Like
okay.
what?
Like, what do you mean? Like creatine? Like, just, it just does absolutely nothing unless you actually use it properly and like it just sits in your body. Okay.
Oh, that's cool. What the fuck?
Dude,
Okay.
I'm on one today. I gotta tell you, I got hyped up energy for this. We set this up in 7 minutes from freaking start to finish. That's hype, dude. I'm stoked on that.
It's
And
it's
this
the
looks
little
this
things,
good.
Tyler.
It's the little things. Anyways, all right.
Yeah, the
So
setup's pretty fucking sick though. I do like it a lot.
the sound
Mm.
or like the
No, I
setup?
just generally your guys' setup it's clean.
Flat. Maybe we'll have to
Okay.
get you a baffle in
So
there.
we get a little bias about it. We should find the new research, take it, test it, and then do more research and then probably test it some more before implementing with clients. Would that be a fair assessment of where you're at?
Oh yeah. Yeah, more often so. I mean, even if we take this to like an athletic standard, if somebody was be like, should I play pickleball? I'd be like, I don't know. I don't know anything about pickleball. Let me go try it out. Let me go see a little bit more about it. Oh, that's a lot of lateral movement, and you have a rolled ankle that we've been working off of. Maybe stay away from pickleball. If somebody would come to me and be like, "Hey, is table tennis okay?" Apparently, table tennis is like a cardiovascular changing thing and can work for people above elderly, above 70 years old, because there's not a lot of movement, but you get to move your arms and you're standing for a long period of time. I would know enough to say, "Yeah, go play table tennis. Don't go diving for balls, but yeah, stand up and throw your arms back and forth. Great, excellent."
Okay. It's a oddly specific example there, bud.
I've had a lot of strange questions come up in the recent months. Let's just say I'm ready to battle them.
All right. Well,
Like,
let's do something like BCAAs as a general example then.
okay,
I mean, that was one of those things that back when it came out, we thought was kind of like God's gift to athletes. It was going to cure everything. Your
right.
recovery, your turnover rate from athletic events was going to be like 10 times
Oh yeah,
what
100%.
it would have been without.
Yeah,
That 10 times, not a real statistic, just kind of pulling that out my ass number.
yeah,
But then we found out that, all right, well, it doesn't do anything if that person's not intaking enough protein to begin with. Well, you need
right.
to take more protein. Okay, great. That does the job of it, though. Because if you do that and you get rid of the BCAAs, there's no net change in recovery in that individual.
Yeah.
So, how do we identify something like that as kind of bullshit when it's the new thing that's out and all of these bigger claims are being made about the performance of things like that? Is I guess where I'm trying to take it.
Do like what any bodybuilder from the 80s does when somebody else tries to come in and tells them something else is new and better. Um, okay, great. This works, and we know it works. Why change? Convince me otherwise. Like, oh, because this is better. Better. Eh. I don't know. If something were to come along and they're like, oh, this is the new hot fitness trend, I'd be like, okay, great, awesome. I'm not going to adopt that. My training cycle, it works pretty well. I'm probably not going to go into it. Probably won't be the best option for you either, but good luck with it. Come back to me when you fail.
Okay.
Right? I mean, all right, the BCAA, the whole thing, I hopped on that trend 100%. Don't act like you did too, didn't you?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So I can't really name like a certain type of trend that I've hopped on or thought about. Like turmeric. Turmeric or ginger would be like the last two that I kind of hopped on. I was like, all right, I have to have ginger or turmeric in my smoothies in the morning or else I'm gonna get sick. Or my health immune system is gonna drop down. I'm like, you have to have this in
Ooh,
your diet.
I
And
did that
like,
with red beets for a while. Yeah.
right? And then you start
Like,
realizing
oh,
your
what am I
shits are
doing?
freaking red and you're like, gross.
Yeah, I'm like look a little layer deeper. You're like, there's no research supporting this at all.
It's gonna make your heart better. Come on, Ryan.
Eh,
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
about that.
So much better for your heart than just, I don't know, light cardio and some high intense interval training weekly.
Or eat a fucking apple. Like you don't need to eat something that's so acrid like a beet. It's okay.
I swear, you should get like a weight loss t-shirt that's just like a person just like making a decision like, should I work out? And then on the back it just says, eat a fucking apple.
You can get to work.
Yeah, that's just the whole premise of it. Like, well, this person's trying to make healthy decisions. Yeah, but they're deciding for too long. Just eat the fucking apple and go.
Get it done. Like you don't decide what do you want to do. It's what should you do. Okay. You don't need to think about anything else. Just fucking do that.
Oh,
Like
the decision-making
there's
process
no
just
do
takes
you
so
want
long.
to. Just fucking do it.
Just fucking do it. Just fucking get in there. Just, keep
Ugh.
do it. Do the Channing Tatum. Just take the ceiling and just keep busting through the ceilings.
Tommy, please clip that for me, just on repeat with no sound.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, oh man. Let's see, trends. I mean, what about trends that aren't necessarily for the idea of beneficial sense of? uh exercise or fitness, things that are like non-beneficial. Here's an idea. Zins, chewing tobacco, like it switched for like the decade, has switched like the idea
Mm.
of nicotine in the addiction stage. I swear, how many nicotine packages I see in the urinals or like at like I'll see them on machines, I'll see them all over the place. People inside the gyms are just freaking chewing on pouches all the time.
Huh. Can't say I've really noticed that, to be honest.
You can spot it.
Why do you think that is?
You can well, because people, the health trend has left away from the idea of smoking. Smoking is now an ick, right? People started vaping, and vaping is like the flavored tobacco. Now in California, they've outlawed the idea of flavored tobacco, so now people are just zinning. Zinning is like the new thing,
They can have flavored pot. That works too. Okay, cool.
I guess. Is that a thing? Yeah, I
Yeah, dude,
guess.
that's
Yeah.
yeah, that's all
Yeah.
those vape pens, right? They're all
Well,
flavored, kiwi starburst or some shit.
I don't know. In my addiction stages, I just looked at like what's got the highest potency and what's the cheapest.
Fuck me. That sounds miserable.
It wasn't miserable. It's just getting fucking baked.
Hmm.
All right.
Each your own, man.
Other fitness trends. So BCAA, yeah, hopping on the trend like that and then noticing like, okay, I'm not actually recovering faster. I'm actually, being exactly the same. It's just some sugary drink. I might as well just go get Gatorade. Like if I'm just gonna have like some sugars during my workout.
But I mean, yeah, that's still kind of disregarding the placebo effect and how do we coach? Because ultimately, it all comes
Mm,
back down to how are we going to coach our clients on this, and how are we going to teach them to identify kind of bullshit versus reality? And I feel like so much of this industry is dedicated towards the new, the exciting, or what's the most efficient way for us to get from A to Z,
right.
and we tend to disregard what's even possible for someone to sustain doing. So I guess I'm trying to figure
Mm,
out how would we coach our clients to be a little bit more uh, even keeled in their decision making, even though the industry is constantly pushing out this new exciting thing, the new pill, the new exercise for body fat loss. Yeah.
um, Sierra Nevada Brewing Company. I know. Total left turn, right?
All
S-
right.
Here we
I'm
go.
I'm on this journey. I'm strapped in here with you, Tyler.
Follow me with the
Let's see
journey.
you root this one around.
This would be my total like explanation. Sierra Nevada Brewing Company. You can go to almost any place in the world. I mean, a lot of different places, at least in the United States, and you are going to be able to walk into a store and walk over and get a case of Sierra Nevada Brewery, right? A beer.
Yeah.
Or you'll see them at restaurants, at bars. Their
Yeah,
philosophy
they're staple.
when they were coming up in their, facility out of Chico and one in Colorado, they don't pay for advertising. They don't. They literally do not. They say the only advertising that they pay for on their yearly budget is word of mouth, on their vans, or through delivery. And that's been their philosophy for years. And it's just been a great quality thing. And I think that's it. If you're hearing it something from people's mouth rather than ads, 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 and tell somebody where they come to me and say, hey, I've done this, it's worked for me, and it's somebody that I would trust that said it, I'm probably not going to change my world beyond it. If there's more ads, 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 this is in the news, this is in the ads, this is in the news, this is in the ads, but I don't know a single soul that does it, I'm probably not going to go for it.
Huh.
And that's what the thing I would coach the people. I'd be like, hey, like if you're seeing this like on your Instagram, on your reels, and you're getting a lot of media about it, talk to somebody who's doing it or somebody who's done it. And if your doctor's pushing it on you, listen to your doctor to some extent. Like if it's some type of like medicine, of course. But if it's a diet trend, don't just take your doctor's one-sided word for it. Go to a nutritionist, go to somebody that you trust, go to somebody that's done it, move on from there.
I feel like you've done a lot of juice cleanses in your life.
Fuck no. Heck no. Are you kidding me? My
Because
cleanse
a
my
lot of people
cleanses
know a lot of people that do juice cleanses, and that's how they do juice cleanses, dude.
that's my cleanses usually involve depression, Taco Bell, and then getting back on the horse at the end. It's not really a cleanse.
That's a Taco Bell colonoscopy, dude.
Here's the thing, man. I'm a recovered alcoholic and addict. Like my thing would be like I'm gonna seek the bottom so I can climb up. There was no cleanse. It was I'm gonna tank hard.
My
And
God.
the cleanse is not doing that anymore. Like that's the cleanse.
Dude, that's what I mean. If we're talking about this shit like, oh, I need to know someone that does it. I know tons of people that do tons of stupid shit. Like
There you
you can know
go.
someone that does the crystal crap and they're gonna say, "Oh, it worked great for me." Like, fuck.
Yeah. Why not? I mean, people are gonna
Oh
say
my
like, "Hey,"
God.
I mean, it's up to us as fitness professionals to also cipher that information off to our clients. So if our clients are coming to us and asking us, like, if somebody comes to me, "Hey, um, I'm interested in taking this supplement because I think that it's gonna help me." Okay, what's your interest? Why do you like it? Like, I had a cyclist come to me recently, and he wanted to take chlorophyll, chlor, chlor, chloride.
Orville?
Chlor no, not chlorophyll, not like the not the kidnap gas.
That's chloroform.
Okay, that's chloroform. Okay, so chloride
Chlorophyll's the
tablets.
stuff in plants.
Okay, I don't. I'm gonna have to look it up. It's chlorophyll or chloride tablets. I think chloride is the stuff that you put in pools.
I think chloride's the stuff you put in pools. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so it's like chloride tablets. I don't know. It's something that you can actually ingest, and it's supposed to like thin your blood, and it helps for people who go from like low altitude to high altitude, and they're like, don't have the opportunity to go to training for it.
Oh.
You know what I mean? So cyclists
Yeah.
will do it. You're gonna make me. What? Are you looking it up?
Yeah.
I see your fingers typing away right now.
Good. Mm.
Good.
Hey, this is why we got the computer here, is I can do some research.
Look at that. Can it show your screen? I wish it could show your screen. It can't show your screen.
We could definitely set it up to do that.
Mm.
That doesn't matter. We'll figure it out. I'll go on a tangent later.
Robert is the name of the guy, which I just found out he
Hmm.
goes by Bob after. He sent me. What is it? Not feeling well. Okay, that's not it. That's not it.
Any
That's not
hoosers.
it.
I feel like we're losing attention there, and we're definitely gonna have Tommy edit out that little bit of a pause there.
It's a
Appreciate you,
big
bud.
pause. It's a big pause. Yeah, it's
It's a
okay.
very big pause.
Tommy did a good job. I think it's chloride tablets. I think
Chloride
I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
sounds
sodium
familiar.
chloride. Sodium chloride, and they have potassium chloride as well. So potassium chloride is a little bit different, but sodium chloride tablets is what you can ingest, and it's like simple. It's cheap and easy. And he did it, and he asked me, he's like, "What do you think about this for the idea of thinning the blood?" I'm like, "I've heard of people taking baby aspirin. I don't know about sodium chloride. Give it a shot." It's like if you want to do it and you've heard somebody tell you about it and it's another cyclist, like I'm not gonna tell you no. I'm not gonna say like it's the best. I would say honestly don't, but if you're feeling like it, do it. Let me know how it goes. He went and did it and he like it went great. I'm like, good for you.
I probably wouldn't comment on things like that. Anything to deal with like blood thinning or like blood pressure, especially when we're talking about thinning the blood or like raising blood pressure.
Right.
I just tend to say, that's not my bag, man. I, I probably wouldn't. I mean, I can give you like some basic understanding of it if you want, but
Like I said,
I'm not the
like
guy you come talk to about that.
that's what I get. But we're in the same realm. I said, if you want to do it, go do it. I don't know anything about that. Sounds like it would work. It seems like you've done a little bit of research about it. I said get an altitude tent. You went in a different direction.
Yeah, just chemically thin the blood. It'll be okay.
Yeah, like rather than, going up to like high altitudes and maybe getting some training done, just in the blood.
Who the fuck has time for that, Tyler? That
Yeah,
requires dedication and work. I want
but
results now.
he was cycling at like, we're thinking 0 to 1700 altitude, and then went to Colorado at 11,000 for the base start.
Oh,
So I can see it in elite athletes having that upper edge, or like knowing a little bit of the secrets that maybe like us normies, or yeah, we're personal trainers, we've been around the industry for a long time, but
different though.
we haven't competed at that elite level where somebody's like getting like doctors and influence from people that have like 30 years experience at like you know, a facility where they have multiple hundreds of coaches, or, a lot of like pull and influence. We don't know. I don't know all that information. I would love to like get into that and like maybe pull from that like little feed, but there's some little
I
tricks in the bag we still don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. I think those tricks in the bag that we still don't know are very few and far in between.
Yeah.
Just because of, quite frankly, every little study that comes out, no matter how baseless it is, if it got published, there's some influencer pulling that from PubMed and immediately putting that out and like telling the world.
Right.
So I feel like so many of these techniques and things are even like the super secret shit. It's like, all right, come on. Like maybe like there's one or two little training methodologies that like the highest of the high end know that us
Yeah.
normies don't. But I don't think it's like the difference between like an almost perfect athlete and a perfect athlete. It's like, oh, it's not really that much of a gap, I think.
Right. Yeah, I
Mm.
mean, Matt Fraser's book put a lot of perspective to like how an elite athlete performs, HWPO. Highly recommend for anybody who wants like a little bit of insight information how to train at an elite level. That dude was going 8 hours a day, hard as shit, and his
Oh
mindset
yeah.
was the biggest change in anything. There was no happy sodium chloride pill that got him to be the best in the world. It became a passion. It was like he had to do it. And he recognized things that he wasn't good at and be like, let's see, I'm not good at rowing. I'm gonna do 5,000 meters a day. Like an unstoppable. It didn't matter if he had trained for 6 or 7 hours. It was like, I gotta do my rowing. Like,
Like the part that I take so much away from Frasier's kind of whole thing was I think the thing that made him so phenomenal wasn't so much like the fact that he would endure suck. It
yeah.
was he was consistent.
Hmm.
Like I wake up at this time. This food is here. I do this, then I do that. And it's like this entire method that would run his whole life for 6 months out of the year as he got ready for kind of going through the gauntlet that is the games.
Yeah.
So
But here's what
that's
here's one point. You said I sleep and my food is here at this time. Behind every great man, there's a great woman. And if it
oh
wasn't for his wife and that whole deal, like, man, the extra stress that was coming from him to like do his meal preps and everything. I mean, she came out with a book about like his meals. Like literally there's a
yeah.
Matt Fraser meal plan that his wife wrote, and like that is beyond measurably, like he couldn't have been himself without that person in his life. So,
I believe that. No,
it takes help.
I've kind of gone through their story a little bit, and it's a cool one. Like they're a very interesting couple, and
Yeah,
they are perfect for one another. I think.
facts. What about you? All
Facts,
right. So is there
facts.
anything else trailing in my head? This is your topic, so I figure you got something else.
No, mostly I just want to talk about how we as coaches can talk about it with our clients, and it does kind of feel like we have some contention here or some separation with how we view it.
Right.
Because I do really believe if we're the types of people that people do come to for advice on a lot of these things, and oh my
Hmm.
god, I'm getting like calls and things from everybody right now. People come to us for advice because there is so much unknown, and because there's so much unknown, they tend to gravitate and pick things at random, and they don't allow any of them the time to really see if it does work. And because there's all this unknown if they're actually picking something correctly, it I feel like it just causes people to pin back and forth through doing so many things, all of which is just wasting their time and money. So like I think we do need to be a little bit more definitive with how we coach people on it. But what are your thoughts?
Well, here's the thing. You're expecting a lot out of your people that if you coach them up on it, that they're going to be able to decipher through a lot of this BS. See, that's why I give the overarching like, don't trust it, because at the end all, clients they're going to be with you for maybe a month, maybe a year, maybe 2 months. You never know when a client's going to drop off.
I was gonna say I hope they're lasting longer with a month than you, bud. Like, come on.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't really know. Somebody can go
No.
get injured, and then all of a sudden, they're gone, or something happens, they move away, or you never really know. So my base substance is like, hey, don't trust it, because if they don't have me or have a resource that somebody to go talk to, just the things that I've told you is enough for now. Like, just take what I'll say, take that, any research, any of the stuff that you're seeing, like, hey, should I go take like this guy with the sodium chloride? I'm like, you know, really do some research about it. Like, I can tell you I don't know enough about it. Um, I would say, baby aspirin is, I know that works. I know that's a very less invasive stuff. Now I know after this dude's journey, I can say, all right, well, it actually worked for this guy, and he's a cyclist, so now I can add that to my tool bag. But any other BS that's kind of going around, like, hey man, should I go on a juice cleanse? Why? What? If somebody was like, I'm gonna go on a juice cleanse, are you gonna continue working out? Yeah, I have three times this week, and then I'm gonna be doing strength and then extra hard with my tennis games. Okay, so maybe don't play tennis for 2 days and take a break off the strength for a couple days while you do this juice cleanse and let your body relax. Because if you over fatigue and don't have any protein to help recover, you're gonna put extra strain on your body and it's gonna suck. So don't do that if you're going to do the juice cleanse.
I,
Optional.
no, I feel like we're getting back to center now,
Okay.
which is to be highly skeptical of everything and kind of operate with new things coming out. If you don't understand it, be highly skeptical of it. Would that be an accurate summation of your advice? Probably.
100%. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
There we go. I was like,
Okay.
it kind of sounded like before you were just saying, I don't know enough about it. Go give it a try. If you know
Yeah.
someone that likes it, I'm like, this is how kids do drugs.
I'm
Like,
talking about sodium chloride tablets for the idea of high altitude training. Like, I don't know. This dude said, like, oh, I've done plenty of research. My other cyclist buddies say they do it. Okay.
totally.
Go
Yeah.
do it. Like, it doesn't look like it's gonna kill you. You can order it from Amazon. It says take the tablets. Like, it's not saying like put this in with your laundry. You're not doing the Tide Pod challenge out there, I hope. Good for you. Like,
Dude, they used to flag random supplements for steroids and fucking meth all the time.
right?
Just
You
because it
know,
says it's not going to kill you doesn't mean dick.
you know what's coming back? I don't know if you've
So,
seen this trend. Raw eggs. People are starting to
oh
drink
yeah, when
raw
kids are
eggs
drinking the
again.
raw eggs. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so gross. Like, it's
I'm
because
like, you guys are idiots.
well, the whole salmonella was like the one thing that like people were so scared of, but now like the eggs are so well vetted, like the system, like if you're getting like cage-free eggs that are just like been stamped on, the people, the testing facilities that get those things out are way different than what it was in like the 70s before, when they're just like, oh, this came out of the chicken's butt. That looks like a rotten one. Throw that one out, rather than like, oh, that's a rotten one. Okay, all the eggs around it, sterilized, test. Okay, get them all out. Like, whole different process,
Yeah.
see, but still, people are drinking raw eggs. Like,
I think people like the idea of looking tough when they do things.
because Rocky did it.
Like,
Who else did
yeah,
it? Nobody
it's
else does
people
that.
want to look like they're enduring suck. I think,
Yeah,
and that's like a really important thing for them and their idea of like working towards something is like I have to hurt. I have to sweat. This has to be hard. It's like no, it doesn't. It can be
hmm.
enjoyable. It can be easy. It's all right.
I just had an argument with a woman online about this.
Yeah.
I don't really have like conversations or back to back online, but this woman irked me. Doctor, can look her up. She's some doctor. She's got a pole influence. She's got like 200 something thousand followers. She posted like some short clip. I think it was on some other guy's page, and I saw it on my feed. And she was slamming F45 and Orange Theory. She's just saying like, oh, these are terrible programs for middle-aged women. They're targeting these women. It's not really good for them because it's not true like high intensity work. It's just small little workouts. They're gonna be like, I'm just like, "Oh, what? Like, hold on a second. Like, let's reframe like this whole philosophy. Like, it just it irked me, and I said some stuff back to her about it. I'm just like you have no idea what you're talking about. Like, you might have a doctorate degree or whatever is going on, but if you're saying that like F45 is targeting these women and you don't think it's high intensity training, let's go back through like what the real science is behind that. Like, high intensity interval training is, anything from 5 seconds to 2 minutes before it starts turning into like aerobic fitness. So, or we literally stagger everything in 35-second intervals. I'm pretty sure that's high intensity training.
Well, what's her point with it? I mean, she can not like F45 or Orange Theory. I mean, I didn't for a while until I kind of took the stick out of my ass. But
Right. Here's her point. She
like,
said there's more optimal training programs. Like, there's more optimal ways of training, which I do not dismiss.
yeah,
Okay,
totally.
yes, there is way better optimal training programs for people rather than doing F45. Yes, if you have the knowledge, the skill, the background, the technique, and the information provided to you to do that.
And the money.
And
Like, you
the
know how
money.
expensive like having a personal trainer is this fucking douchebag of a lady? Like, you get someone to train you 3, 4 times a week.
Yeah,
You're talking like over 2 grand.
right.
Like the average person can't afford that. That's why they go to F45 or Orange Theory. It's a few $100. They
Yeah,
get someone that knows what they're doing and some structure to their program. If it's not 100% perfect, well, who the fuck are you to say that's what they enjoy doing?
yeah. I mean, I used to bash
This
on
lady.
Orange Theory only for the idea of like their aerobic fitness training. I'm like,
Oh, oh,
nothing to do against their workouts. I just remember that they were doing it off of like 220 minus your age. And then
oh yeah.
I heard that they actually implemented the idea of the algorithm-based training where it scores your fitness levels. You can do an actual VO2 test, which is just like a 20-minute like output test, and it'll give you your heart rate ranges based on your maximum medial work, which makes a lot more sense. And then they can base the heart rate off of that training. So
Work.
they've gotten better rather than
Okay.
220 minus your age. So Orange Theory, it's got my thumbs up there. They've definitely moved up in levels.
If it works, I mean, you can pick the version of fitness that is suboptimal, but is like the thing that you enjoy doing. If it'll keep you in it, versus this doctor, which doctor and what? Um, like
She was old and she had good looking arms. Looked like she'd been in the fitness world for a long time, and I guess she just has
probably got like a
levels of
doctorate in like
expectations.
holistic medicine or something, or like
Yeah. It was a short clip
fucking
too. And
snake
then
oil
somebody
salesman.
replied back to me saying something like, "Yeah, well those programs use people with a barbell that do like overhead press and they're not prepared for those lifts." And I'm just like, and I responded back to
What?
that and I'm like, "Look, I'm a USAW certified Olympic coach. I can have somebody meet with me for an hour and they're still not going to have good form. Just because these people are getting a little 30-second intro and 15 seconds of like demo from a trainer one-on-one, that's better than absolutely nothing, and if they do it for 3 years, I guarantee they're gonna get a little bit better." So,
That's just someone that wants to talk about contention and like try to get a conversation going. I feel like
yeah.
that's such a gimme post.
Oh, I shut it way down. I shut it way down.
Good
Yeah.
man.
And then here's the last thing. So I want to know, this is like based on the idea of like a trainer's podcast, right? So to the new trainers out there who are coming on or into the fitness world, right? This was another contesting point. They said that the F45 trainers, a lot of them suck. So, defension, right? Low defensive. Some trainers do suck. Don't get me wrong. There's bad trainers out there in the world. Maybe they were not taught the right information. Maybe they're just not experienced enough. But here's the thing. At these box gym locations on like small group stuff, what do we have? We have opportunity for new unexperienced trainers to come in and to help other people. So if we don't have that available opportunities and all we wanted was veteran trainers, like, hey, you need 2 or 3 years experience, and imagine that was across the board. It was at gyms or small group gyms or whatever it was, then where are trainers ever going to get a footing for their first client? Like you need to have these type of locations for like small group fitness studios or for like big gyms or box gyms that have like these entry level positions where that trainer's gonna say, "Hey, you're the first person I've worked with." And that's okay. Like that person, they need
I
good
like that.
leadership and they need good guidance to help them. But the expectations that every trainer is gonna have 5, 10 years experience, like not if you go to F45, not if you go to like Soul Cycle, not if you go to like these box gyms. Like you can expect like there might be 1 or 2 or 3 like leads who are like experienced trainers, and a lot of the rest of them they're going to be entry level. And it's we need that area, or else there's never going to be opportunity for these people at the lower end to become the upper end. So that was my
I
argument,
like the
as I said.
mindset there with that quite a bit. Like that's a very good way of looking at it is that people will have to go into these places where you will get technically a subpar trainer in a lot of regards, but quite frankly, it is someone getting their reps. And not to be overly pretentious about like where trainers need to go, but if you're making $20 an hour, yeah, you're not going to stay there very long if you get any degree of skill. So gyms like that are going to be a constant turnover rate where there is always going for greener pastures. So trainers will naturally graduate from that if they are learning and are getting good. So it does leave a lot of open room, but like you said, I do think people go there to learn, to get their footing down and get those kind of reps in. And again, to take it back to the money side, it allows for an affordable option for a lot of people to be able to afford training. And
Yeah,
I feel like it's just that's a part of the fitness conversation we don't really come up with much is
right.
people do need to be able to afford training in the 40 $50 an hour range.
Yeah.
Like that's important.
Yeah, and this lady, this doctor woman wants to talk about like, oh, you can get better programs, better classes. I'm like, dude, you go to the Equinox Lifetime, you go to these like larger gyms, yeah, that you have these beautiful classrooms, you have these amazing instructors, but you're like one of 70, and they're teaching from the front of the room, and they're trying to get you going, and you're watching other people around you getting movements done. It's not like you're in Orange Theory or F45 where you have two coaches and those coaches are walking around the room while you're already set up and they are adjusting your body, giving you cues, giving you movement options, and like helping you one on one and hands on. I totally steered off your topic. Maybe that was just because I was a little bit riled up about that one.
Nah, good dude. And end of the day, fitness, personal training, that's all we're here for. So we can kind of reform it a little bit. Not every one of our recordings needs to be super on topic and like kind of
Yeah,
systematic. We can just like bullshit for a little while too.
yeah. I was starting to see like in my head this like blending in with the TVs behind me. It just looked like a face. Tommy thinks your
And,
haircut's amazing, by the way.
oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I will no, no, thanks Tommy. I appreciate you, bud.
He's like watching over this. No,
Yeah,
let's see if there's any other last little fitness trends or things that are coming up. Um,
I always go back to the one I don't like, the Normatec boots. Not a fan.
Normatec, you mean like the hydro boots?
Those compression boots.
The ones that
You
go
know, the
over your
ones that like
legs?
inflate up, cut your circulation and like shift all the blood out to try to get circulation to go back flush through. You remember those?
Yeah, you don't like those?
No, it's you're depriving the muscle of blood for no reason.
Wait, okay, on the sensor recovery, removing blood from an area. and then having
Yeah,
that blood return to the organelles, pump through the heart, and then come back in freshly. Similar to the idea of
freshly.
just like fresh blood. Like literally that blood will leave the legs, and if it leaves the legs, it's only got one way it can leave the legs. That's going through the venous return system, so it's got to get pumped back through the heart to return, which means it's been reoxygenized. And a lot of the times when you have that coldness around the legs, it's because it's squeezed the blood out of the working muscles. So you're saying that when these muscles come back with fresh blood that's been reoxygenized, you don't like that?
Uh, Compare that to 5 minutes on a stationary bike.
Inflammation reduction, I don't.
You need
You're gonna,
inflammation for hypertrophy and recovery. So
yeah. I we found out, what is it? You showed me the study recently. The idea of hydrotherapy for those who are trying to build muscle. It's better for you to actually just sit in the pain or just do, like you said, a little 5-minute flush. But
yeah,
if we're looking at somebody who's not trying to look for like high intense growth, or they're just consistent, and they're just somebody who's a gym goer and they enjoy the hydrotherapy because it reduces the pain on their knees, and maybe because they're a runner and it works for them.
and is that because it actually works for them, or because they think it works for
BCAA, I don't know.
them? Oh God, I use it because it makes me look cool. That's why.
I literally, dude. So, oh my God. So here's a side topic like this.
What do you
Uh,
got?
oh, so my fitness gym, which I eventually my goal is to trail out of there, and I'm already kind of like getting fed up with driving down 35 minutes and sitting in traffic.
It is
Yeah,
brutal.
I got my first client. I'm trying to fight the fear of like failure, and stack enough money that I can just live a few months and just jump into some ads and then go private full time. But
Dude, I'm telling you, just thumbtack, bark, run the shit out of that. Start just
dude,
person after person.
I looked at Bark. We have 2 leads in the area. Two.
Ooh,
Yeah, it's
that's
rough
it.
out here. Santa Rosa, this
Damn.
area is so rough, man. Like I'm already looking at the idea of moving in the next year. So that might be the
Ollie.
change. Dude, let's start throwing me some
Damn.
online stuff and let's start getting this weight out. I'm gonna need like at least a little bit of income.
Dude,
My car lease is ending next year. I don't even need to keep my car. I can just like cut the car lease, not renew.
we get you a Vespa.
I would have like nothing to pay for other than just health insurance and food.
Yeah, you don't need health insurance in Indonesia. It'll be fine.
Okay, well then, well, I mean, on taxes though, you need health insurance for when you return.
Not if you're out of the country for what is it? Not if you're in the country for less than 42 days in a calendar year.
Hmm.
And you also get I think it's 94,000, which do not quote me specifically on that number. Consult your tax professional. Um, but like 94,000 is or ish tax exempt. So you don't pay taxes on that.
Oh, nice. Love that.
Yeah, it's called being an expat.
Swiss bank account. Okay.
Yeah, anyway, but
Trace
again,
that
consult your
IPN
tax professional on
somewhere
that one. But
else. Anyways,
yeah,
we'll talk more on that later.
got
So
you,
check
brother.
this out. So I had a lead, this woman, trust her. She's awesome. She's great. She's kind of like stepped in as like our group instructor manager, but she's getting like a lot of extra roles thrown on her. Now, the Bay Club has, chosen to do a renovation, which they've told me about. I loved it. I loved it. Like when I got the tell at the beginning, they're gonna knock down walls. They're gonna expand. They're gonna make it look beautiful, just like Walnut Creek. And I went to Walnut Creek, and I'm like, this place is tits. Um, so they're making a recovery room, and this lead comes to me and she's like, "Hey, I'm asking all the trainers," and there's another trainer there, and she goes, "We have this recovery room. It's gonna be coming in." She's like, "I'm setting up a schedule. I'm gonna have like about 84, 86 hours that are gonna be open. We're gonna have some of the front desk. We're gonna have some people, and we're gonna see if like we can get some of your trainers. Like, how are you interested in locking down a few of these hours where I can get you to stay in the studio? And like, it'd be a great way for you to contact and talk with members. And I'm just like, absolutely not. I was like, my level of interest, I'll tell you right now, is a 2 out of 10. And the other trainer looked at me like side-eyed, like, dude, she's asking for help. And I'm like, yeah, no. I was like, so let me guess.
That's where trainers go to die, by the way. Don't ever be like that's like working on a cruise ship or at a resort. It's like you
Yeah.
have no advancement. This is the
Oh,
peak now.
yeah. I was just like, so what's like the compensation for that? Like, do I get like paid for bookings or like what do you want? And she's like, no, like it'll be just like your hourly, your admin hours, and it's just, you'll have to check people in and schedule and then, clean the equipment and then trade people in and out. I'm like, did they hire on more staff for this? And she's like, no, they didn't. I was like, so I was trying to tell somebody else this. I was like, this is basically what they just did to this group lead. It's like, imagine we were an auto body facility, right? We work on cars. And then the owner one day is like, you know what? Let's start painting cars. And like creates a whole new shop, the idea of painting cars, and then just doesn't tell anybody like that they're going to be the ones painting the cars, doesn't hire on anybody else and goes, all right, guys, I expect this to be fully operational. You're in charge. You're the head mechanic. And the head mechanic's like, I don't fucking want to do that. And they're like, too bad. Like, that is exactly what happened to this woman. And now she's like scattered. So she's like coming to the other trainers, like, hey guys, presenting it as like a cool new thing. And I'm like, yeah, I am not going to do
Dude, fuck
that.
that.
Fuck no. Like that is, one, it sounds like chaos. It sounds like you're getting thrown something that you're not ready for either. It's going to be completely open to all the members. It's going to be the same sweaty people that go in there all the time, and it's going to be hell to deal with. I'm like, I'm not doing that. Not at all. Not touching that with a 20-foot stick.
You're trying to take my paid training hours where I get paid a hell of a lot more than my normal hourly, and you're gonna have me sit here and work for minimum wage essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck no.
Yeah. I'm like, I'd rather lose money actually in that stance. Like, I'd rather take the 2 hours and go home and go take a nap or something, honestly.
Always down for a nap.
More important to me than going and doing that. So, I mean, for this is kind of like a new trainer nuance. All right. Know your place, set your boundaries, set what you're willing to do for your company. And if your company tries to overstep that, make sure you go back to like where you're beginning, like what you're trying to do, what you're trying to get out of it. Because ultimately, they don't own you. You could walk away at any hour. There's more jobs out there in the world. There's more training studios. There's more opportunity. Don't feel like you're stuck somewhere and like, oh, well, I owe this to my clients. You don't owe your clients shit. If your company doesn't treat you properly and they are trying to take more out of you than you're willing to give, you're gonna have to either have that one-on-one, talk to your manager and say, hey, this is where I draw the line, this is my boundary. If not, then I'm ready to go. And put yourself always in a stance. Like if my job currently right now is like, hey, we don't like how many hours you've been putting in. We're gonna need you to like actually focus in, set like 35 or 40 hours as your goal. Meanwhile, I'm trying to, set my basis somewhere else. I'm gonna be like, yeah, absolutely not. Like, this has been great. Adios. I'll be fine. Like,
Yeah. And I think it is such a part of like when companies do overstep, because I think that's a natural part of what performance management is, to always try to get more out of your people, which
yeah,
I think is kind of not a good way to actually run a team, and something I kind of am virulently against. Um, but I don't know. I go back and forth with it, where these places don't really own the clients. Is at the end of the day, they come to train with an individual, as you and I know,
yeah,
that you walk away, your people are just going to leave with you. So I think it's, people need to accept that their employer really doesn't have power at all.
yeah,
And it's just a place that signs your paycheck. And once you get that need out of them, they become something that's not really a necessity anymore.
hmm
Mm.
I mean, we had a trainer like literally walk out recently, and then she came back, but she's like, she was having her own issues with the like managerial staff. Things weren't going right, and she's like, you know what? Peace. And she walked. And she was one of our top closers as clients and sessions. And then, eventually she came back like a month and a half, two later. And she just walked in. She scheduled all of her clients back on that day, and she trained 8 sessions in like one day. The day she got back, because I'll tell you what, all those clients they waited for her. They did not trade. They did not go to another client. They didn't say like, "Hey, I got my month. I still got sessions. I need to book with other clients." They said, "You treated my personal trainer unfairly." She left. I'm done. I'll wait until she's back.
Dude, I got that with a few people. They used to train at me a lifetime. Like when I fucking said screw this, burn this bridge, I'm out, guys. See ya. Like there were a few people that they're like, no, I still need a trainer. Like I'm only gonna train with someone here, but you guys fucked my trainer, so it's not gonna be you.
Like,
Fuck.
oh man, that's rough. I mean, we want the best for our people.
What are you gonna do though? It's all part of that journey. I think we all kind of go through, and what trainers will find out is part of their journey.
Yeah.
And like as much as we try to talk about pitfalls and kind of the random nuances that come with this career, I I don't think anything is going to replace the fact that you're going to need to get burned a couple times. You're going to need to work for something for a couple years and not get it, or you're going to need to get screwed over by someone that you work for to really understand how this industry does work. And hopefully we can I don't know, pad the fall a little bit or make it a little easier to navigate when it happens, I guess.
I'd say my biggest learning experience ever when somebody comes to you and says, "Hey, we're gonna have a pay structure change." Don't sign that. Say no. Say you agree. We agreed on this. This is what I was hired for. I do not agree to a pay structure change. And make sure that if they decide to do a pay structure change from corporate, it's because they want more money. They don't want to make you more money. They want to
100%.
make more money. Never once has a
And if
corporate been like,
you
this is how you're going to make more money. We're going to put all this effort towards you making more money. That's how this is going to work.
never gonna happen. Like your place will never structure their pay differently for you to make more money.
Yeah,
Fucking never.
never. Not
Or
once.
if one that got me is if you understand the pay structure change and the people that are your direct superiors do not, that's a big red fucking flag.
Dude,
Like,
they got us
no, no, no,
all
no.
hyped up. You remember that? I remember freaking
Fuck.
like Josh and everybody's like high fiving, like, yeah, dude, this is sick. This is going to be great. 2 months later, what the fuck? Like everybody lost
Dude,
thousands of dollars, and we're like, dude, you
me,
guys
Rob,
boned us.
Rob, and like 2 or 3 other trainers were all sitting there going, uh, I don't think you guys understand like how we get paid.
Yeah. Like,
This isn't mapping out very hot.
dude, this is like a 3 month trail. Like you're talking to me every 2 weeks. It has to be at a certain level, or else I'm fucked. Also, my education doesn't matter anymore. Just gone. Just like,
Useless.
remember that 3 tier system? Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and take that out. Like, what? That's how I was making my good money. I had just gotten to my first like $5,000 or $6,000 month. I was like 5 months in. I'm like, yeah, I finally actually started getting like a little bit of a footing. And then tanked. Like I was making actually like nothing. Like I was making like $1,200 paychecks. I'm like, I'm working 440 hours a week. Like this is crap. Like I don't want to do this anymore.
Dude, structure like every I think I mapped it out or something. It was like every 2 months I was gonna lose like $400 or $500 just because like my billings weren't adjusted perfectly, and I'm like,
Right.
this is stupid. Like,
Yeah.
why?
Why?
It just I get paid $400 less every 2 months for no fucking reason. No. Good times.
Yikes.
Anyway, I feel like we're kind of rambling at this point.
Yeah.
Um, be on the lookout for our trainers. They're still very much working at box gyms or still getting your footing. Companies will try to screw you. It's nothing personal, and it's just the name of the game. You're going to have to learn to navigate it. And if you're implementing new things with your clients, be very skeptical and teach your clients to be very skeptical about the new things that come out. One of my favorite quotes that I was ever given on supplements was, "You want to be the last one to the party. You want to be the person that's a very late implementer of new things because what we think works today will probably not be the thing that we think works in a month or a year, especially in the supplement world." Tyler, any last closing words of wisdom for our peeps?
Man, I really like that one. That's pretty good. Be the last of the
Got you, man.
party. Yeah. Well wrapped. Well done, sir.
Woo! Well,
Take us
guys,
out with a
it's
wink.
been fun.
Uh, uh, uh,
I got mine in there. It was sly. It was
there we go.
quick. You
Here we
didn't
go.
catch it.
Double wink. Didn't see that coming, did you?
Neither did you.